Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And welcome back, everybody. Whoa. What we're going to talk about today. Well, it starts with manifesting your future. What do you want for your life? It's been said that if you think it and you really believe it, you will get it, no matter what it is. Could be a car, job, relationship. But what happens when something changes in your life and you know that you need to ask for help, maybe manifest some of that help? Who knows? Interesting situation with her. She's a law of assumption coach. She helps people manifest their lives, change their lives, bring those things into their lives that they feel they deserve. And she's got a little challenge going on here. I'm talking about Susan Carabello, who joins us once again, our professional of the year.
How are you?
Welcome back from your retreat.
It was a fabulous trip. Like, it really was the trip that I needed for myself. I lived like my inner child wanted me to live. I went surfing, went hiking, jumping off boats, swimming in the ocean. It was just spot on.
All that crazy fun activity until you get to the last couple of hours on the trip, and then what happens?
I slipped and fell walking to the bathroom and broke my wrist.
I just...
Yeah, you have to laugh because, like, I did things that were like outside my comfort zone, like jumping off a boat, hiking in the rain, surfing in the Pacific Ocean. And I had a big fear of swimming in the ocean up until a few years ago. So it's kind of comical, out of this amazing super trip, right? The last 5 hours that I'm there, I slipped and fell going to the restroom.
Wow. Wow. And even the times that we've talked, I know you're an active person in that you go to the gym. I think you do yoga. Yes. I'm trying to remember.
I do. Yeah, I do, and I teach it as well.
Yeah, so you got all that going on, and then you slip and fall with it was rain on a tiled surface, right? That's what did it.
That's correct. Yeah, so I didn't see that there was a puddle on the surface, and I say I hydroplaned. It's really what happened. I just slipped in a puddle. I didn't see it.
People say I'm an empath. I've taken surveys before that show that I'm like very high in the empath level.
Yeah.
I can't feel your pain, but I feel your pain. Like, I see you falling, and I'm like, I'm wincing because I don't want you to feel that pain, but I see it and I feel it. It's just like, oh.
And it's from the way it was described to me, and I was, we'll start on an extension of what we did last week, which was gratitude, because I had so many great people surrounding me, and have had so many people surrounding me in the last 48 hours that I go to bed every night saying I'm blessed. I feel how blessed I am, just because the people that showed up to support me when it happened, they were there. They stayed up in the middle of the night, like making sure that I was okay, making sure that I got to the doctor, making sure that I had someone driving me to the airport that wasn't supposed to drive me to the airport. They were they changed their schedule to drive me to the airport. I had somebody pack my bag for me. They made sure that, the last few hours that I was there, that I got a good night's sleep. So they put me to bed. They tucked me in. It was blessed is beyond word measure. And then I got people to take me to the airport. My family picked me up at the airport. They helped me arrange doctor's appointments, drove me to the doctor yesterday, and then, today having a girlfriend come and help me just put my hair up, to make me feel a little bit presentable today has been a blessing beyond measure.
And this is in Costa Rica. You traveled solo.
Yes.
These are all strangers.
Yeah, these are the people that I met them all on retreat. And we had such a great week connecting with each other, laughing. It was just, it was a great trip. We all connected. And as, what happens, when you connect with people, you immediately make those connections, you bond. And it was just fabulous. And we just had a great time. And so when I needed help, they all stepped up. And it was just beyond amazing.
When did you get back?
Yesterday morning at 5 a.m.
Oh, was that recent? Okay, wow.
Yeah, so I broke my arm on Sunday morning, and it took like a full 24 hours to get home. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, first thought is like, oh my gosh, got to reschedule flights and all of that.
Well, I did. I rescheduled my flight and then ended up missing it. So, which was actually a blessing because then I didn't have to rush. I sat down. I was able to kind of start to process like, okay, what do I need to do once I get home? It gave me a moment to call people back here in the States and, ask for the help that I needed, right? To ask for, names of doctors, like, who can take my insurance. Like, so I had a girlfriend who went through my insurance plan and was like, these are the doctors that, that can take you, that are specific to exactly what injury you have, which was a blessing. Like, out of their own time and whatnot, they, were able to help me. They went through, I gave them my insurance card. They went through the list of providers. My one girlfriend, her husband works in that field, so was able to actually reach out to a few of the doctor's practices and ask, do you take this insurance? And unfortunately, some of them did not. But I was able to find one who did and was able to get in fairly quickly.
Wow. So we're talking about asking for help.
Yeah.
And in a situation like that, like when we talk about manifesting, a lot of times it's things that you want in life. Mm-hmm. So, call it those extra things or just things that you feel you deserve. In this situation, would you manifest a better outcome? You have surgery coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's literally like, despite the pain that I'm feeling, I mean, at least here's the thing. In order to change something, you need to admit where you are, right? You have to own up where you are. And I will admit that, my arm hurts. It's throbbing. It's not the normal. But can I still manifest that outcome? Absolutely. I'm going to manifest that this surgery will be successful. And that I'll be up and mobile and doing what I love within weeks, which is the best outcome that I can manifest. But it's also me knowing and catching myself when, that part of me wants to go down the rabbit hole and be like, oh, I'm in so much pain. This isn't going to work out. Like, how are we going to do this? And it's like, no, we are going to do this. We're going to just focus on the best possible outcome. I can't allow myself to fall back into that victim state, right? And that's what happens. Like, our ego is designed to protect us, right? So I don't think it's intentionally trying to make me a victim. It's trying to keep me safe. It wants to keep me alive, right? So it's now going through all the worst case scenarios, and I'm like, no, that's not who I am anymore. I will not allow myself to focus on the worst case scenario. I have to now focus on the best possible outcome, because that's what I expect to see in my life, is the best possible outcome. And that's how manifesting works. It's truly a testament to who you are, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Like, how in a case like this, I have the opportunity to pick 10 of the worst possible outcomes, but there's one, that 11th one is the best possible outcome. Can I focus on just the best possible outcome and quiet my mind enough to focus on that? And that's literally, I have to be a testament to my own practice at this point, and not allow myself to go there as much as I want to. I will say that my meditation has been a huge impact on my life, as we've discussed before. I have been struggling the last 48 hours to quiet my mind enough to get into that deep state of quiet and calm and chaos. It's there. I did ask a friend. I'm actually going to see her later. She's in the same field as I am, and she's going to help me meditate and quiet my mind down, even if it's just an hour of, her guiding me through it. That's what I need to do right now.
Don't we all? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I'm grateful that I have somebody like that I can reach out to and be like, look, and this is the situation. And she totally, I didn't have to say anything else. She's like, I got you. She's like, we'll do it together and we'll make it happen. And like, what a blessing to have that, right? And we all do. It's again, can we recognize in these moments of lessons, right? This is a lesson. I think we discussed this last week, right? Everything is either a lesson or a blessing or both, right? In this moment of a lesson, how can I take that opportunity to get out of my own way, right? Get out of my ego and really ask for help. Even yesterday, my mom, who's 84, was here at the house and they were getting ready to take me to the doctor. I was like, Mom, I can't do my hair. And of course I'm laughing hysterically. My mom's 84. She was like, she did like I wasn't when I was a kid. She brushed my hair for me. I said, you don't have to make it like anything fancy. Just get it off my face so I can look presentable when I go out. And she's like, okay, I got you. Right. And she did. She stood there and she like combed it back and was able to put it into like a hair tie. And I'm like, that's perfect. Everything from there, I can like manage it.
Can I share something? I don't know if I talked a little bit about this, but then go deeper, but it's exactly in line with what we're talking about. So I shared with you, I had acute laryngitis.
Yes.
A few weeks ago. I got a virus. I never get sick. What the hell's going on? I had a fever. I honestly, I tested negative for COVID 4 times. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure I had COVID for the first time ever. But you go with your gut, but whatever. Mm-hmm. I went to that ENT. Now it's probably, I don't know, 2 weeks, 16 days ago, something like that.
Yeah.
He told me that I wouldn't be able to talk again, potentially the way I did. I would need vocal training.
Yes,
he scoped. I mean, he saw my vocal cords. Mm-hmm. He told me that I was a 6 on a 10 scale of severity. He said, don't push it because your vocal cords could hemorrhage.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him like I've been doing this since I was 17 and wanted to do it since I was 9. Mm-hmm. The reason I'm rehashing this and bringing it up again is if this was 5 years ago, before I started the journey of grounding, having faith, maybe manifesting, all of that, I would have been blank in freak mode. Like, whoa.
Yeah, and
what I did was I went home, had a moment of reflection.
Mm-hmm.
I walked in to my daughter. She's 16.
Yeah. I
walked in, I put my arm around her. She couldn't see that I was kind of welling up a little bit, but I was just like, I felt lost. Honestly, for that moment, I needed a hug. And she's like, I'm like, all good. Well, actually, I said, all good, because I couldn't talk. And that's where it ended. And I said to myself, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
If things change, maybe I'll have a deeper voice, whatever. Yeah. But it's going to be all right. It'll be, if I have to make changes around that, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I had that just tap the brakes, like your meditation.
Yep.
And just move forward. And a few days later, I was fine. I can talk. No issues, repercussions, nothing. Doctor apparently was wrong. But I could have been victim. Like, how can this happen to me?
Well, and that's right. I don't want to say, for me, it was my default mode. My victim was my default mode. It was like the easiest thing for me to go to because that's what I was used to. And I'm like, really? Like, I have to start practicing what I preach. I mean, I practice what I preach every day now anyway. But like in a moment like this, how can I really tap into that space of coming from my soul?
Sure.
I know that everything's going to be okay. I'm surrounded by people who love me and care about me, and it's going to be fine. And I know it. And that's it. So,
and you know it.
I know it. And that's it, right?
Why do you know it? Why do you know it?
Because, the pain is there, yes, but what do I know? I know that I'm loved, and I know that I'm a representation of that love. And that's all I need to know. And I'm not embarrassed to ask for help. Like, it's okay for me to ask for help. I don't have to be independent and try to do it all on my own. I recognize in myself that was my default mode. Like, I got it. I can do this myself. And I don't need to do that.
I want to add 2 more things. And I believe you're undervaluing yourself in this regard. But yes, love it. It's all good. You need it. We absolutely. But I think you left out 2 important things.
My faith is
your faith and your resilience.
Yeah, like I agree with you. My faith is stronger than ever before.
And that's not just universe or God or anything. Faith in you, yourself. That this sucks. I've got help and support around me. I need it. Sometimes you don't, but you have faith in yourself. But you think of the things where you've been and where you are. I did that. I did that. Look at that. That could have been a problem. I got through that. I'm going to get through this. We're going to work this out. It's going to be all right.
And my faith has been literally my guiding post. Like I'm not going to allow myself to go down that rabbit hole anymore. And in those moments, how can you bounce back, right? Like I had to start joking about what happened, right? Because like here I am on this amazing vacation that was absolutely spectacular, and this happened at the end, right? Which is a great thing. But like of all the stuff that I've done on the trip, I could have done this when I was surfing, right? Like, but it's me just walking and doing everyday stuff, right? It's not a big deal. Like to me, in my mind, this is not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I'm going to get through it. It's like, it's not a big deal.
And look at what you just said before, in that you did on this trip things that you never did before. You never considered you would do.
Yeah.
The universe allowed you to do them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
And I believe there's a reason in everything. There's a reason this happened. And I look at myself when I couldn't talk and I was forced to take off. I couldn't work.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, that was a great blanket week and a half.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't hang with anybody, couldn't really talk. What's the point?
Yeah.
And I just hung with myself. I went kayaking. The weather just happened to be fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that. But I believe I got clarity, and it made a major difference in my life. And I wouldn't have had that unless I was forced to. And what did the universe do to get me to do that? The only thing it could, take away my voice, because I could, if I broke my arm, I could still come in and do something. I could do a podcast or whatever.
Well, and that it's still wanting I really believe that this happened again for a reason.
Yes.
I know the reason. I'm not doing my life alone, right? My life is not just me creating it. I'm co-creating it by having faith in something greater, which means that sometimes I have to ask for help, not just from myself or from other people, but can I ask God for help? The universe, like, can you help me? Like the universe wants me to, like, they want to help, right? They want to give you everything you want, but A, you have to have faith, and B, you have to ask. Like, it's, again, I'm not doing life alone, which is a beautiful gift. And I know that. And I have to, A, be able and comfortable enough to step back and be like, you know what? I can't do this all myself. And in a case like this, I have to be able to ask for help for things like tying my shoes. Like, all right, I have a choice now. I can either use the slip-ons, my Vans, for a couple, days, or can I find somebody to help me tie my shoes just so I can, like my running sneakers, so I can go take the dog for a walk. I'm like, well, how about this? We're just not going to take the dog for a walk in the running sneakers. We'll just go in the Vans and we'll just go for a couple small walks versus a long walk. Right? We make it work is what happens. But it's really like, I think the question comes down to is, am I going to persist in who I am? Am I going to persist in this new story of who I am? Or am I going to go back to the story of, I have to do everything alone. I, feel sorry for myself, etc. I have a choice now, right? We talked about the buffet table. I have the choice of now embodying the state of being of who I truly am, or am I going to go back and pick something else from the buffet because that's what's comfortable and that's what I'm used to? And no, that's not who I am anymore. And I know that, even though I did say the last day that I was there, I set an intention for myself, which I will share, was I'm going back as a whole new person, and I'm super excited to go home, because now I have like a different mindset. Obviously I wasn't clear enough. I'm going home as a new person. Wasn't expecting the cast to be part of the new person, but I'll be more clear the next time. But I came back with like not a completely different mindset, but one that was strengthened, right? Like I had to really step into knowing who I am, which is a person of faith, a person who knows who she is, and is going to embody that state of being, even in times that are tough and uncomfortable. And can I do that? And the answer is yes, I can. I will admit that I did have a moment at the airport when I missed my flight. At that point, I was running on adrenaline. I hadn't slept and I was exhausted. And I was begging to get put on the flight. And they were like, I didn't make it in time. I'm like, please, like, I'm supposed to be on this flight. I just want to get home to get back and get to the doctor and whatnot. And they were like, no, we're sorry. And I'm like, all right, how can I perceive this differently? There's a reason that I'm not supposed to be on this flight. And why was that? Because somebody that I knew from the retreat was taking the other flight, and they would be able to help me get on the flight. They would be able to help me get on the plane, get my bags on the plane, get my bags off the plane. And they did. They sat with me they didn't sit with me like we knew each other, but they did exactly that. Like, I was able to go to dinner with them, and, they watched my bags if I needed to just, go use the ladies' room or something. But then they were kind enough to actually help me get on the plane, get me situated in my seat, put my bags overhead, got me set up. And I think that was what the universe was, trying to show me, that to slow down. Yeah. We have it taken care of. You don't have to do this by yourself.
Yeah. And also you think about, and I'm not trying to, do the look on the bright side and put the rose-colored glasses, but imagine if it was winter. You'd have to take the dog for a walk. Yep. You really can't just slide into a shoe, potentially. Yeah. There's lots of others. It kind of is a good situation if you add it all up that you're in. If it was going to happen at the end of the trip, you lost, you missed the flight, all good. Yeah. And in the end, I betcha you're going to see a reason why this was supposed to happen and why it's good for you.
Yeah, and
it sucks. I'm not taking it away.
Yeah, but I may not see it today, but right. whatever the reason is, like, it reminds me, like, I taught a meditation class a few months ago, and it was about the meditation that I chose was about being grateful for the small things, because those small things are what really matter. Yeah. And over time, the small things become the big things. And in this case, can I be grateful for the small things? Like, being able to have shoes that I could slip my feet into, without having to go buy a new pair, that's something to be grateful for. Yeah. Having friends and family that care about me, those are the big things. But it's learning how to open up a peanut butter jar with, like, one hand, right? Like, it's something like that that's so minute and small, but I was grateful for it. Why? Because I was able to have, like, the breakfast that I wanted this morning.
And I'll bet you that you probably enjoyed that peanut butter or whatever it was even more and savored the flavor.
Oh, yeah, like I probably had too much of it this morning. I was like, the jar's open.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes. I don't know who was happier, me or the dog, because when the dog knows that I'm opening up the peanut butter, he's like, he goes and grabs his bone. He's like, well, give me some. It's like, well, of course.
I forget to give my dog peanut butter.
Yeah.
And I know they love it. I got to do that. Just even put it on a treat, little scoop, and throw it to him.
Yep. Yeah. And he knows, like, he'll go grab his bone. He's like, oh, she's got the peanut butter. The woman has the peanut butter open. So we'll sit there I'm all right, I'll give you the bone. I'm giving myself some. I'll give you some. But yeah, it's, I see this as a lesson, right? And how can I make this into a positive? It happens. It happens. Like, there's a word that goes before happens.
Everything you said, it happened in the most beautiful way. If you want to take something that, is negative, when you look at all of that, I mean, it would have been so sucky that if this happened a day in and you missed out on all those activities and meeting these people, now you bonded even more because of your injury. We're out of time. Thank you for sharing that today.
Yeah, no worries.
It makes us all think. And good luck on your surgery.
Thank you. It'll be fine. I know it will.
I know it will too.
Yeah.
I really mean that. I'm not just I'm just going to say that. Like, I ride on intuition. And you're going to heal really fast. Like, there's something.
Well, that's the one thing that he did say, is that this type of surgery doesn't have a long recovery time. Like, I'll be back in doing my stuff in like 2 to 3 weeks. So,
yeah.
you know,
I feel it.
I'm grateful for that beyond measure. So
your website is your name. Share it, please.
yes, it's SueCarabello.com. My email is susan@SueCarabello.com. My Instagram handle is the @SusanCarabello_.
Wonderful talking with you.
Yes, thank you
I
so
appreciate
much.
your journey. Like it's
Thank you.
a lot to learn from it for all of us, and
Thank you.
of resilience, faith, and the right mindset. You know,
Yeah,
it's all there.
and that will get you places like when, from a manifesting perspective, and I will leave it like this: when you have a choice to choose the negative or the positive, can you, in that moment, choose the positive? Because you are the creator, you are going to direct how the outcome will come about. So if you want to choose a negative, realize that you're just going to create that going forward. As uncomfortable as it is and as easy as it may be to do, try and choose the positive outcome.
Yep.
Yeah.
And after time, you just do it automatically.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. We'll
welcome.
I'll see that cast in a week.
Yes.
All right.
Good. All right.
All right. Thanks a lot. We'll be right back.
All right. Bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! It's now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.